I grew up in the tradition of storytelling, and we have the validation of experiences that storytelling gives us. While traditional stories often focus on cultural and moral lessons, contemporary African literature includes works that address current social issues and challenges. Through storytelling, the African diaspora can reclaim and celebrate aspects of its culture that may have been eroded or suppressed over time. The process contributes to cultural resilience and pride. Cultural resilience and pride. Another really powerful and important benefit of storytelling to the diaspora is educating, informing, teaching. Storytelling serves as an educational tool, helping to inform both the diaspora and the wider global community about the rich history, contributions, and challenges faced by people of African descent. Storytelling holds immense potential to contribute to the healing of the Africans in the diaspora. Building African diaspora memory through storytelling is a powerful and culturally significant endeavor. Storytelling serves as a means of preserving, sharing, and passing down collective experiences, traditions, and histories. It preserves cultural heritage. It helps preserve and transmit cultural traditions and values. By reconnecting with ancestral stories, the African diaspora can strengthen its sense of identity and cultural continuity. Shared narratives foster a sense of community and solidarity among African descent and people in the diaspora.
So Gloria, the question is this: how do we heal ourselves? Talking about story, talking about learning about who we are. What is your take on that?
Thank you, Brother Obehi, and greetings again to everybody who's in the room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for witnessing and witnessing one another, each other, and as a community. This can in itself be healing. Storytelling holds immense potential to contribute to the healing of the Africans in the diaspora. Building African diaspora memory through storytelling is a powerful and culturally significant endeavor. Storytelling serves as a means of preserving, sharing, and passing down collective experiences, traditions, and histories. It preserves cultural heritage. It helps preserve and transmit cultural traditions and values. By reconnecting with ancestral stories, the African diaspora can strengthen its sense of identity and cultural continuity. Shared narratives foster a sense of community and solidarity among African descent and people in the diaspora. It provides a common ground for individuals to understand each other's experiences and create a collective narrative. African storytelling is diverse and rich with a wide range of story types that vary across cultures and regions. I grew up in the tradition of storytelling, and we have the validation of experiences that storytelling gives us. Many members of the African diaspora have shared experiences related to historical injustices, discrimination, and displacement. And storytelling allows individuals to express and validate these experiences, promoting empathy and understanding within the community. And then there's a feeling and a shared witnessing, like I mentioned earlier, of one another individually and as a community. Most times we're either seen as the other or not seen at all. And the power of storytelling can heal these traumas. Most importantly, shared personal stories can be a therapeutic process, allowing individuals to voice and process trauma. Storytelling becomes a form of catharsis that contributes to emotional healing and resilience. Storytelling empowers individuals to share their perspectives and contribute to shaping the narrative of the African diaspora. Like my brother said, this is our time. Nobody's telling our stories for us. That's done and dusted. We're here to tell our own stories. This empowering can be a crucial step in reclaiming agency and fostering a positive self-image. I've got a lot to say on this, so I'm just going to continue. Bear with me. Through storytelling, the African diaspora can reclaim and celebrate aspects of its culture that may have been eroded or suppressed over time. The process contributes to cultural resilience and pride. Cultural resilience and pride. Another really powerful and important benefit of storytelling to the diaspora is educating, informing, teaching. Storytelling serves as an educational tool, helping to inform both the diaspora and the wider global community about the rich history, contributions, and challenges faced by people of African descent.
Hello and thank you for checking out this video. I'm Obehi Ewanfo, the host of the African Diaspora Storytelling series. Every 2 weeks we meet up on LinkedIn to talk about different ways we can leverage the power of storytelling as people of African descent. Now this is it. We are uniting the millions of Africans in the diaspora through the power of our story. It does sound like what you are interested in. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends who might need it. Now back to today's conversation.
For example, I can talk about the Yoruba culture. We have Yoruba teaching story that imparts wisdom and moral instruction. And in particular, we use the story of the tortoise. I think it's called Ajapa. Any Nigerians or Yoruba people who are here?
If you provoke Olatuji.
I think it's called Ajapa. It's the tortoise. We use the tortoise, the story of the tortoise, and a lot in the Yoruba tradition. I'd like to just give a short story of a tortoise and the birds, and shows just the simplicity of storytelling and how powerful it can be. This story features a trickster character, which is the tortoise, called Ajapa, and is often used to teach moral lessons, particularly about deceit and the consequences of dishonesty. Story, that's how we start the story. Once upon a time, there was a severe famine in the land, and all the animals were struggling to find the tortoise, trying to find food. The tortoise, known for his cunning ways, devised a plan to trick the birds and satisfy his hunger. But with the additional greed in its nature, the tortoise went to the birds and said, with all sincerity and concern, "Dear birds, I have discovered a tree with the most delicious fruit you have ever tasted. It is located in a distant land, and I'm willing to lead you there. We can share the delicious fruits together." Excited by the prospect of finding a new source of food, the birds convinced those among them who were slightly skeptical, and the birds all agreed to follow the tortoise. Mr. Ajapa, the tortoise, as they flew across the rivers and valleys, Ajapa cunningly suggested that they close their eyes to avoid being blinded by the brightness of the sun. While the birds closed their eyes, the tortoise took advantage of the situation. He grabbed one bird after another and hid them in the folds of his shell. By the time the birds realized what had happened, they had been deceived, and it was too late. In the end, the tortoise enjoyed a gluttonous meal at the expense of the trusting birds. And he exploded from the food and died by the excess. The simple lesson here was twofold: about trusting blindly and following others, as well as the consequences of greed. It teaches the importance of critical thinking, discernment in decision making, and the cunning actions of the tortoise also highlight the negative consequences of dishonesty and betrayal. So you see, just a simple story gives so much for young people and elders. While traditional stories often focus on cultural and moral lessons, contemporary African literature includes works that address current social issues and challenges. One such example is the novel The Yellow Sun by one of my favorite female authors, I always get her name wrong, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. That's the one. I think it's called Heart, or I can't remember, something of the Yellow Sun.
You're right, you're there.
She's a brilliant Nigerian writer. I'm sure some of you already know about her. The novel explores the impact of the Nigerian Civil War in 1967 to 1970 and explores the impact of the conflict on individuals and communities. It delves into the complexity of conflict, touching on political turmoil, humanitarian crises, identity and ethnicity, social justice, and the impact on relationships. Colonial legacy sounds relevant today. It's a powerful example of contemporary African literature that uses storytelling to engage with social and political issues. By weaving together the personal stories of characters with a historical context, Adichie provides readers with a nuanced understanding of the complexities of war, identity, and social transformation in post-colonial Africa. Finally, thank you for listening so patiently. Positive and inspiring stories within the African diaspora can provide hope and motivation. These narratives highlight achievements, resilience, and the potential for positive change.